Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. I hope you're having a great day. So, as you know, on Sundays, I like to kind of think about what I'm going to be researching over the next week. We had a lot of things happen last week. Things like the SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce talking about how badly the SEC has handled the crypto industry, even saying straight up they dropped the ball. To Terra Luna, Terra Luna or Luna 2.0 coming out. Dropped like a rock, but who knows? Maybe it'll come back. Um, it's already got a market cap of I think $1 billion. We've had other news, so that's great. It's a lot of foundational work that's going on out there. But I wanted to talk about the future of crypto, right? I strongly believe the future of crypto, the next phase of crypto, is going to be all about retail, all about businesses getting in on accepting digital assets for payment. Behind me on the board, it's fairly simple, right? You have two kinds of transactions. You've got a centralized transaction and you have a decentralized transaction. A while ago, I created a video that was about the difference between, you know, doing credit cards and doing crypto. Well, think about that for a retailer, for a store, right? When you walk into a store with cash, it's you and the person that's the store that's receiving the cash. If you walk into that store and you pay with a credit card, it's you going through a couple of hops, credit card company to a bank, to another bank, to the store, right? Um, a couple of interim steps in there, but pretty much that's it. But you have, what's deemed a man in the middle, somebody with their hands in the pockets of somebody, that owns the store. For big stores, we're talking the loss of millions and millions of dollars based on the percentage, that they pay to the credit card companies. For a small store, you're talking about thousands of dollars, even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the size of the store, that store can lose to credit card companies. You're talking about anywhere between 1.9 and 6.5%, based on in-person, and online. So there are advantages to a store going out and saying, you know what, I'm going to start, accepting credit cards. Now, when you look at a centralized transaction, like I said, it's not a direct transaction between the business and the customer. A decentralized transaction, like the kind of transactions that are going to be on Rebel Reach, our hosting platform, it's going to be equivalent to an OTC transaction, meaning point to point. I will be sending you directly, the store, these digital assets. No man in the middle, no hand in pocket. And that's a huge difference because that means that store sets a price and they get all of the money. They get all of the money. If you think about the transfer of fees, it goes from a big percentage of fees from banks and credit card companies for the store to nominal fees to the customer to pay in crypto. Nominal fees. In some cases, no fee. So it's really interesting to see how that works out, especially online. So imagine if you're a clothing store, you've got a nice clothing store, physical location, you're selling clothes, but you also sell clothes online. Well, those online transactions can definitely be, if you're worried about, somebody comes into the store, they buy something, they're not going to wait for the transaction to happen. Literally, transactions can happen in seconds, just minutes. That's literally what can happen, right? You can get confirmation that a transaction is on its way, which is more of a trusted transaction process than a credit card. So literally, the store knows they have their money done, rather than they wait anywhere between 1 day and 5 business days for them to get their money if they're using whatever credit card system, payment system that's in place. It's almost immediate. And they get all of their money. So you've been hearing things about, companies like Tag Heuer, now accepting, accepting, digital assets for payment. You even have SpaceX that's going to accept Doge for payment. That's great. That's an awesome thing. But the fact is that when you look at it all, you've got to think about, well, what's going on? How does that happen? Well, a company like mine says you can take your transaction and you can do it in a centralized fashion. You can be using, I think Square or Block now is doing it. Strike is doing it. Strike, you even have to, everybody has to be a part of a network. Skip that. Then you have PayPal, that where you can do certain transactions with certain coins. For Rebel Reach, when we host your platform, it's native, cryptocurrency is native to our platform, and we're going to be accepting many coins. I think when we first start off, we'll be launching with 3 coins, that we've already tested just now, and we'll be adding more coins as the weeks come. The initial list of coins, I think, is 17. I think it's 17 coins that we're looking at to get onboarded. There's some really cool things that we have going on with regard to that, but when I look at the future of crypto adoption really relies on retail. The more retail stores that accept crypto or digital assets for payment, the more people are probably going to hop on. The more people that hop on, the more stores you get, until it becomes ubiquitous. Like I said the other day, you had American Express, Visa, Mastercard, Discover Card, all fighting to get into stores, because that's where adoption is. If this store accepts a credit card, one of those mass credit cards instead of just a store credit card, it was a big deal, because that store's credit card, that store's transactions shifted from cash to credit. And this includes debit transactions, right? Where, it takes time for the money to actually transfer over. And so when I do a debit transaction, let's say I pay somebody using Venmo, what winds up happening is the person gets their money, but it doesn't leave my account. So somebody's fronting the money. I'm sorry, my daughter's being loud in the kitchen right now. But it doesn't leave my account, right, for like 1 or 2 days, which is annoying to me when I'm trying to reconcile, all my accounts and everything. It's a pain in the tail. Here comes crypto. Like I said, the more businesses that accept digital assets for transactions, the more people are going to hop on. The more people that hop on, and they keep feeding each other. They keep bouncing back and forth and feeding each other. That's a big deal, because I think it's an easier sell, right? It's an easier sell for crypto to get into a store, because the sales point is you will get all of your money. So if you're supposed to collect $25, you're going to get $25. And the person sending it is probably going to pay pennies, for sending over the coin, depending on whatever coin, they choose to use, right? And then it's, you have it in your wallet, and it's up to you to figure out, well, when do I want to, quote unquote, cash that in and flip it back to fiat? It depends on the kind of wallet that you're using. I have another video that talks to you about the types of wallets, from non-custodial to custodial. So when I look at crypto, like I said, I think the future of crypto right now, this next phase, is all about adoption. All about adoption. And retail is the best way to grow that adoption, especially if you're talking about a decentralized transaction. When you go from centralized to decentralized, that centralized transaction makes sure that that business gets all of their money. So all of my research this week, not all of it, but a big portion of it will be, I'll be having an eye out for businesses in the retail space that are starting to accept digital assets for payments. I told you a couple of days ago that my brother Michael was like, if I can pay a fiat, no. Well, you don't really pay in fiat. You pay with a credit card. And before then, you didn't pay with a credit card. You paid in cash. Then you got sold on leveraging yourself, credit cards, right, to do that. Well, it hurts the business, right? It kind of flipped that business model. So it hurts the business. and can set you up for problems down the road if you let credit cards get out of control. Whereas with, you know, digital currency, digital assets, it'll be a lot easier. You'll be back to cash pretty much, right? Cash equivalent digital assets, and you'll be there. Another reason why I think that this is going to take off is because you have a lot of countries, including the United States, looking at centralized or central bank digital currencies. And that's a very big deal. Because what are central bank digital currencies? Oh, it's crypto fiat, right? For the most part, right? So when you think about how that works, you start to realize, wow, so crypto is actually here to stay. Where am I going to store my assets, my central bank digital currencies? Where am I going to store that? In a wallet. Just saying, it's probably going to be in a wallet. Like, how does that all work? Yeah, it's probably going to be a wallet. How different is that than well, it's not. Yeah, it's kind of not. Now, I want you to think about this. Federal Reserve released their report, and I told you this, what, a week ago or something like that, where you have a lot of bankless people that are out there. Meaning people that don't have bank accounts, even people that don't have credit cards. I know, right? Clutch your pearls. But it's a big deal. You have a lot of people out there that just don't want to put their money in banks. They just don't trust the banks. People say you can't trust crypto, but I look at them and I go, the FDIC only insures your money up to what, $250,000 or something like that into each bank account? So imagine if you're one of the lucky people that you have $300,000. You've got to split that between a minimum of 2 bank accounts, or else your money's not insured. Wait a minute. But what do you mean my money's not insured? Yeah, because your money's not your money once it's in a bank, right? When you put your money in a bank, that money is earmarked for you. Just like with a centralized exchange, that those cryptocurrencies or those digital assets are earmarked for you. Meaning, out of my pool of, let's say, Bitcoin, what's earmarked for you is about this much. Cool. But it's still my pool. Which is why you saw all of that advertising out there, not advertising, but articles out there that spoke about how, if Coinbase was to go, kaplooey, the people that are holding crypto there, they'd be the last to get the crypto because the creditors would get their crypto first. And it was actually a very big deal because Coinbase's stock dropped, I think, 75%. So that's a very big deal when you think about how that all works. So over the coming week, I will be looking at and focused on who is accepting digital assets. Grafisa in where is it, Brazil? I think it's Brazil. Grafisa in Brazil. They're accepting digital assets for, and I reported this a couple of days ago. I should be able to say it to you. Sorry. But they're accepting digital currency for major real estate transactions. And they specifically said it's because they don't want the man in the middle anymore. Send me my assets directly. That's an OTC, over-the-counter transaction. Transaction between 2 parties. Boom, boom. You get all your money. Nothing in the middle. That's a very big deal. So that's what I'm going to be looking at this week is who's laying down foundation, right? Who's doing research, even those tiny little murmurs. Oh, hey, this company is thinking about doing digital transactions. I'm going to make note of that because I firmly believe that retail is the future of crypto. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. Wanted to let you know what I'll be researching this week. The coins that I'm into are still the coins that I'm into. It's the same ones that I told you about in that video. I probably added a couple more. I think it was XCN or something like that I added yesterday. HBAR I added. But those are basically the coins that I'm interested in right now. So go check out that video and tell me what else you'd like to know. Again, this is Eddie J on crypto. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what I'm giving you, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel. And absolutely hit the bell so that you know whenever I'm dropping a new video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.